Hi, I am Bernard Love and this is your news update. Now let's begin with the Israel-Hamas war going on in the Gaza Strip. As it stands now, I'm giving you the update of what is happening there live. As it stands now, 2,670 Palestinians who live in the Gaza Strip have died as a result of constant bombardment and strike from Israel. Again, over the weekend, Israel gave Gazans or Palestinians living in the Gaza Strip 24 hours to evacuate or move from the northern part of Gaza to the southern part. This is to make way for Israel's ground invasion of the Gaza Strip to, as it were, deal once and for all with the Hamas terror group. Now, after the 24 hours expired, they gave an additional 6 hours to residents to migrate from the northern part to the southern part. Now, this is where it becomes interesting. The United Nations, UN, came in and said that, one, it was wrong for Israel to do that, to give Palestinians living in the Gaza Strip 24 hours to migrate. Now, in every war, there are war crimes. There are some things that one is not supposed to do. Those who are engaged in the fight are not supposed to do. One, you don't kill children, you don't attack children, you don't attack residential areas, so in communities where residents are living. What you do is to attack the terrorist group that you are fighting, or if it's a military to military, you fight military personnel. One, you don't displace people, you don't tell them to evacuate. That would be like ethnic cleansing. That would be like trying to resettle an entire community and taking that place. So that is also wrong. And the United Nations have been very vocal in condemning this particular move by Israel. And now the United Nations also said that it was hugely impossible for over 1.1 million residents in the northern part of Gaza to relocate to the southern part, because there are children, there are sick people, there are those who are aged, there are pregnant women and all that. There are hospitals in the northern part of Gaza. So what happens to those who have been wounded in the assault, those who prior to the fights are suffering different forms of sicknesses and all that? How do you evacuate all these people to the southern part of Gaza? Mind you, vehicles are not moving as they used to move before the war started, because there are constant bombardment, constant strikes from Israel hitting targets in Gaza and all that. Roads are blocked, buildings are collapsing and here and there. So to be very difficult for people to even move. Again, fuel, water, food, lot of these supplies are controlled by Israel. So immediately the war started, Israel placed a blockade on them, and electricity was no longer going to Gaza, water wasn't going, fuel wasn't going, and as we speak now, there is complete blackout in Gaza, no electricity. Some of the hospitals are saying that they have only up to today, Monday, 16th October, and they will run out of fuel to power their generators and plant, which means the hospitals can no longer take care of those who have been wounded in the war. So you put all these things together, it is quite difficult for people to even get vehicles to migrate themselves and their families to the southern part of Gaza. So that the UN has condemned. Now let's look at another thing. Since the war broke out, US came in and warned any regional power, be it Iran, Jordan, Syria, and all surrounding countries, not to join the war. It should be between Israel and the Hamas group. Now yesterday, that Sunday, Iran's foreign affairs minister issued a statement where Iran first of all condemned Israel, that Israel should not invade Gaza. Again, he went on to say that no country can guarantee non-expansion of the war if Israel goes ahead to invade Gaza, which means that there is the propensity, or there is the probability, that Iran will join the fight. Now, if Iran joins this particular war, what will this mean to the sub-region? Is it going to be a sub-regional war? And what will be the consequences? Obviously, these are going to be very devastating consequences, not only for the sub-region, but particularly for people living in Gaza who up until now have suffered. In fact, if you go to Gaza, Gaza is seen as the world's most populated or densely populated open air space. It is seen as an open air prison. They have over 2.3 million people living in a 365 square kilometer land. That should tell you how dire the situation in Gaza is. Now let's move to Gaza and the Egyptian border. Now, Egypt has so far, up until now, has refused to open its border for Gazans and Americans, some people were in Gaza on humanitarian grounds. They were helping people. Now, because of the raging war, they have to migrate, they have to leave. And Egypt, as it stands now, has not opened the borders for those people to, as it were, move into safe zones in Egypt. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that, in fact, yesterday he traveled to Egypt. He has given an assurance that the borders will be open, but I'm sure they want to be very tactical about that, so that people like those who belong to the Hamas group do not join to cross over into Egypt. That will be a difficult one for them. Again, let's look at what the U.S. State Department also said over the weekend. U.S. State Department issued a memo. In fact, this is a memo which means it's for internal consumption for U.S. diplomats to refrain from using words like ceasefire, de-escalation, and calling for calm. U.S. issued, in fact, there's a memo which was even discussed on CNN over the weekend on Smarconi's show. So that is also another update that I'm giving you. And then Israel also used a certain means to communicate to people in Gaza, and they dropped over thousands and millions of leaflets which communicated to the people of Gaza to evacuate. So if you are wondering how they communicated to those in Gaza, that is how they communicated to them. They issued thousands. In fact, you see some of the, as you can see, some of these are some of the videos of how they communicated to the people of Gaza. Now, the next update I'm giving you is the fact that Hamas is also preventing Palestinians living in Gaza to evacuate the northern part of the strip to the southern part. And Israel is saying that Hamas is using the people as shield, so that it will be difficult for Israel to attack them and uproot them. Of course, Hamas is also saying that Israel is asking the people to evacuate the northern part of Gaza so that they will invade and take the land. So this is the update as at this morning, Monday morning, that I want you to understand, and I'll be coming your way with a lot of updates along the line as what is going on in Israel, what is also happening in Gaza, particularly the Gaza Strip, the people of Palestine, what they also think about what this war is all about, Lebanon, Hezbollah. I'll be giving you updates of all these here on my channel. So follow me here, and you can also follow me on YouTube. That is Bernard Love on YouTube, TikTok, Bernard Love, Facebook, Twitter. You can get more. Thank you. I will be back.